The Choral, which is a highly anticipated British drama, anticipated not least because it once again reunites Alan Bennett and writer Alan Bennett and director Nicholas Heitner, who together have previously collaborated on Madness of King George, did pretty well. History Boys, wasn't crazy about the film. Lady in the Van, very, very good. Now this, although this is an original screenplay, not an adaptation. Starry cast includes Rafe Don't Call Me Ralph Fiennes, Roger Allam, Mark Addy, and Simon Russell Beale. So,
very good.
You know, no wonder it's being released right in the middle of awards corridor. So set in 1916, fictional Yorkshire town of Ramsden, eve of conscription, young men are being sent away to die in the trenches or shipped home with horrific injuries and horrific memories of battle. The Choral Society, which is headed up by Roger Allam and Mark Addy, are suffering because the male ranks have been completely depleted, meaning they have to start to recruit the kind of undesirables that in the past they would have turned their noses up. They have to go to the pub to find if there's anyone in the pub who can sing, and it doesn't matter who they are. If they can sing, they can. Same goes for the women too, who by necessity is not now just pillars of the community, but people of, in inverted commas, loose reputation. Needs must, and if they can sing, they're in. As for the choir master, the only real candidate is Ralph Fiennes' Dr. Guthrie, who is a great musician, but has spent, of his own accord, a large amount of years in Germany, and therefore is sneered upon by everybody else because country is obviously now at war with Germany, and keeps getting asked, why were you in Germany? He says, because the Germans appreciate art and culture and music and have produced pretty much every great composer. So yes, I did like being in Germany. So he takes up the baton in front of this ragtag choir and a makeshift orchestra in which, possibly for the first time, because revolution is in the air, everyone is on an equal footing. Here's a clip.
This is Mr. Horner. He will be accompanying you for today's auditions. Thank you.
I thought we'd done the auditions.
Not for me, you haven't. And that goes for everybody.
We're the committee.
No exceptions.
I haven't anything prepared.
Scales will do.
Scales? Us?
It was your choice.
Not too late, Emma.
Dear Lord and Father of mankind.
A bit of nice singing there, suddenly rudely interrupted by the clip coming to an end. So, in order to avoid bricks being thrown through the window, they agree not to do a German composer's work, but they will do Elgar. Okay, Elgar. Can't get more solid. Elgar. Will Elgar, who is played with imperious pomposity by Simon Russell Beale, will he agree to allow these amateurs to perform his Dream of Gerontius? Will the choir and the, in inverted commas, orchestra get their act together for one rousing performance, or will ruptures within the mill town just tear everything apart? So the slogan on the poster is, they were divided by war, he united them in song. So you kind of will go in with a certain assumption about the way this is going to go. In the same way as, you know, will the predator actually kill the beast and bring the thing back home?
I think we know that
Spoilery. So, I mean, there have been quite a few successful British movies about plucky northern grit with rebellious politics and musical themes kind of, you know, intertwined with it. I mean, you and I loved Brastoff, right? Brastoff is fantastic.
It is.
Full Monty was Oscar. I mean, I think that Brastoff should have been an Oscar contender. I really do. But then the Full Monty was sort of celebrated, you know, far and wide. This is sort of in that kind of area, although I have to say, I don't think it's on the same level. I mean, the message of the film, which is very much rooted in the screenplay, is, and this is a good message, art is not an indulgence, right? Art is a necessity. And at times of crisis, we need art and we need singing and transcendence more than ever. And the script also sort of takes swipes at the class structure, the idea of, you know, working classes being used for cannon fodder in the First World War. And this is a town in which you have the mill owner and the person that works at the mill suddenly together in the same choir, and everything is kind of equal. And so all those things, I think they're, you know, I'm sort of broadly on board with them. And there's also a thing about the way in which jingoism is used to encourage people to sign up, because, you know, let's go and do the great thing, which of course turns out to be not the great thing. So there's also a kind of weirdly, There's an element of sexual politics which is kind of strange, which is that there is this very unjudgmental earthiness about the way in which sex is portrayed as a transactional commodity, which is something that can be given in kindness, or something that can be raunchy, or something that can be sneered at, or something that can be begged for in times of crisis. And there are some scenes that are they're odd because they sort of seem to sit slightly to one side of the coziness of the drama, in which, the point is there's a quiet desperation at work here. This is the young men who are about to go off and face terrible circumstances and very likely death, and in those circumstances the politics of transactional sex become a slightly different thing. And there are those scenes which seem to sit at a slight odds to the rest of the film, which is the film about the choir getting to pull itself together to do the performance which is going to happen. Beyond that, it's fairly by numbers fare. It sort of falls into what you'd broadly describe as goes down well with a cup of tea and a biscuit on a Wednesday afternoon, Mrs. Ralph Fiennes is good, of course, as the kind of quietly grieving musician he is kind of distrusted as much for his suspected sexuality as for his German proclivities and the fact that he's an artist at all.
And that bone temple he's got. I mean,
the bone temple, of course.
No wonder he'd be discussed.
No, of course, that has put them off. You've got Roger Allam, who I always think is great. Nice line between the pompous and the wounded, because he's the mill owner, but also he's got this kind of vulnerability. And then you've got Simon Russell Beale camping it up as Elgar. Elgar is portrayed as a vain, preening nincompoop, floating his way around in these newly acquired academic robes and behaving like a complete snot-nosed idiot. Honestly, all I could think of, I wonder what Ken Russell would have made of this. Because firstly, that isn't, as far as I understand, that isn't Elgar. And secondly, one colleague of mine, I'm not making this up, one colleague of mine actually walked out.
What, because of the way Elgar
was portrayed. And yeah, the Elgar caricature it will divide people. I think there are some very nice performances. Amara Okreki's Mary is very good as this kind of Sally Alley figure who everybody thinks that they understand because she's in the Salvation Army, but they don't sort of fully. John Singer Sargent has been sort of cited as inspiration for the visuals, and the fact is it does look beautiful. That area looks absolutely beautiful. Screen Yorkshire should be absolutely cock a hoop because it is beautiful. But I kind of left it with the feeling of, it was fine. I thought the narrative bit off more than it could chew. I thought there were some things in it that were kind of interestingly oddly radical, but sort of were at odds with the general coziness of the rest of it. So it was more fragments of a tune than a soaring melody, really.